Hey everybody, my name is Shane and I'm sick. You can probably tell by my voice that I'm really sick. Maybe about 3 or 4 days ago I had gone to the doctor's because I woke up and I felt miserable. My whole body hurt, every part of my body hurt. So I ended up going to the doctor's, one because I needed a doctor's note for work because I had a call out that day, and two, I just wanted to feel better. So I ended up going to the doctors and they could not give me a solid diagnosis. They did several tests. They did a strep throat test because my throat has been killing me. They did a flu test, which is super uncomfortable. And they did a pregnancy test just in case, and all three tests were negative. So they weren't really sure what it was, but I was showing all the symptoms of a flu. So they had given me antibiotics for the flu, so I've been taking that, and it's again about 3 or 4 days later and I'm feeling better. I'm not contagious anymore, so I figured I would take advantage of being sick and my voice is awful and show you guys how I would do my makeup. This was more revolving around like thinking back to when I was in high school and when I would get really sick, and then you start to feel better and your parents are like, you're going to school, like you're fine, and you didn't want to go looking like death himself. So I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks of stuff that I used to do in high school when I had to go back to school and I wasn't feeling too well. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope my voice does not just drive everybody crazy. But the first thing that I am going to do is pull out my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. This thing is amazing, and you're probably like, why are you already pulling out concealer before you've even done your foundation? I have been breaking out a little bit more than usual. I had started using a new facial cleanser not long ago, and it's just now like really starting to settle my skin down and stuff, but I still am breaking out, so I don't want to look like hell with breakouts on top of that. So if I tend to have breakouts, I always put concealer on before my foundation. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this concealer, and it is brighter than my skin tone because I usually use concealer underneath my eyes to brighten up like underneath and stuff, which you will see, trust me, in this tutorial, but right now I'm just specifically using it to cover up any problem areas or any splotchy areas. Like, these are areas that I don't normally break out, which is very odd to me. But next I'm going to use a damp beauty blender, and I'm just going to lightly press this into the skin. I'm not going to worry too much about blending because we are about to go over it with some more products. So I'm just going to very lightly blend it in. I totally forgot to put on a primer before I did that. So I'm going to take my Kat Von D's Featherweight, Lock-It Featherweight Primer. I really do love this primer. The only thing that I'm finding with it is that it does not take away a lot of my pores, especially here. Like, even after I use the primer, foundation, concealer, I can still see pores, where when I used to use the Professional from Benefit, that did not happen. So I'm thinking about, because this is actually almost done, I've almost used the whole thing up. I love it because it is so lightweight, and that's why I think it's perfect for like a sick day when you don't want that full coverage, like you're not really concerned about that. I think this is fantastic. But when we do run out, I think I'm going to go and try the Benefits Professional Matte product that just came out recently. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this, and because I don't want to really cake on my face, I'm really just going to concentrate it mostly in the areas that I struggle with pores. And then whatever is left over, I'll work it into the rest of my face. Okay, now there's no way in hell that I will ever use a full coverage foundation when I'm sick. I just don't want, I mean, you can if that's your thing, but me, Okay, sorry, I had to cough. But for me, it's a little bit too much. So normally I would use the matching foundation to my primer, which is the Kat Von D Lock It Tattoo foundation in the color Light 46. If I were to be doing a makeup look when I'm sick, like I am, I would usually opt out for a BB cream or a CC cream or even like a tinted moisturizer, just something that is so much lighter on my skin and it just doesn't feel cakey, because the last thing I want to feel is uncomfortable on my face, because I already feel uncomfortable on my face. So I actually don't own a BB or a CC cream because I just simply haven't found one that I really care for. I'm still on the hunt for one, but what I'm going to do is take mostly a skin moisturizer, which I've been using this one for a long time now. This is Pond's Dry Skin Cream. It is a drugstore moisturizer, so I think you could find it at any CVS, Target, Walgreens. I personally found mine at Walmart, but I have seen them in most, if not all, of those locations. If you're not from the States, I'm sure any sort of drugstores that you guys have up there, you can probably find this, but it is my favorite drugstore moisturizer. So I'm going to put that mostly on my skin, and I'm going to take just a tiny bit of foundation, and I'm going to dot it on my face as well. So we're kind of creating our own tinted moisturizer without going too heavy. Honestly, I think I even put on too much on the back of my hand because I don't want to use that much. So taking my damp beauty blender again, I am going to blend all of this in, and you can see that the moisturizer and the foundation are mixing nicely. Nothing is cakey. You know, I can still see some blotchiness, but to be honest, I don't really care. I am not looking for a flawless face. I'm just looking to look a little bit alive. So I'm just going to continue to blend this out. And don't worry if it's a little too blotchy or you still see some problem areas that you like to cover, because remember, we're about to go back in with concealer, which is really going to help brighten up the face and cover anything else that you really just want to be gone. Okay, now that that's all in, and I really love using a moisturizer when doing that, just because I feel like it makes my skin so much more hydrated and just feels a little bit more healthy looking, and I don't know, I really like this technique from when I'm sick. So going back into my Maybelline concealer, I'm going to take a little bit. I really have dark circles under my eyes right now because I haven't been sleeping. Most likely, if you're sick, you haven't been sleeping either, so that's where this concealer becomes my holy grail. So I am going to put on my concealer the way I normally would, because this concealer is more so a medium coverage, so it's not too heavy, so it's not like you're gonna have like massively heavy product over very light product that you just applied, so it's not gonna look like crazy or super cakey or anything. That's why I love this concealer. So I just put a little bit under my eyes, a little bit down at the center of my forehead, and a little bit on my chin, just to brighten just to brighten up my overall complexion. I'm actually going to take a little bit, whatever is on the sponge, and just put it on my eyelids as well, because my eyelids are very, very dark and very discolored. You can definitely see the difference. Now, I know you want as least product on your face as possible, but if you use any sort of cream or liquid concealer, you always want to set it with a powder, because I promise if you don't, it is going to, did you hear that? It is going to smudge or crease and just look worse than if you never put it on. So I am using the NYX HD Studio Finishing Powder. This is a great powder. I don't like the smell of it. It's super powdery and it kind of gets in your nose and it just smells awful. Look. Why? So I usually just use a wedge, but at the moment I don't care. So I'm going to dip my beauty blender in a little bit of the powder, and I'm just going to press it. You see what I don't know I love the finish of this powder, but it just gets everywhere. Like, I literally feel like I'm inhaling it half the time. I don't know if I like this at all. There is a finishing powder that I wanted to try from Ben Nye, so I think I'm going to order that soon, because to be honest, I don't think I'll end up finishing this whole pot, because I feel like I'm going to end up eating or inhaling 90% of this product. Now, I'm not a huge fan of baking. I tried it when it first became like a thing, but I just feel like you lose a lot of product, and as a pasty person, I don't need my face to be any lighter than it is. So I did put on a little bit too much powder, so instead of waiting, I am just going to take a clean brush and just wipe away any extra product. Now, the next step is totally up to you. It completely depends on like how willing you are to do your makeup, but because I am so pale and when I'm sick I tend to just look super ghostly and super pale, so I am actually going to take my NYX highlight and contour palette, and I'm just going to take a little bit of this color here, and with an angled brush, I am just going to sweep just a little bit. I'm not like fully contouring at all, but I'm just sort of bronzing up my face just to add a little more life and color and pretend like I've seen the sun in the past 4 days, which, let's get real, I have not. So I'm just going to apply this where I normally would contour, which is where the cheekbones are, but I went a little bit higher. Like, I brought it up on my cheekbones a little bit, on both sides, of course, on my forehead, but I'm doing it with a super light hand, so there really is, oh, do you see this darkness right here? I'm gonna have to go over that a little more with some concealer. Damn. Wow, I totally missed that. And I'm just very lightly just adding a little bit more color and life to my face. I don't know what is going on with like my inner corners, but they were so dark and purpley. Ugh, powder. I'm like powdering and blending at the same time. What on earth? Alright, maybe I should try blending it out with my finger, because now there's like, I don't know, I don't think I like this powder very much. It just, oh, it's so hard to work with. Honestly, that's as good as it's gonna get. Next, I want to add a little bit of color back into my face, and I don't want to go super heavy with blush or anything because I didn't go super heavy with anything else. So really, I just want a flush of color, and my favorite blush to get that look is the Milani powder blush in the color Romantic Rose #1. This again is a drugstore blush, and I have it in 3 colors, but this is the most mauvey and nudie color that I own. So just taking a regular old powder brush, I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of that color. And this blush is pigmented, but it's not crazy pigmented, so you don't have to be super careful with going really light-handed, but it is just going to add a little bit of color back into our face. See, this is the color with some blush, this is it with no blush. I just feel like it makes such a difference. Now, for my eyebrows, I usually go crazy and fill them in, but I'm not going to do that. I'm more so just going to fill in the tail of my eyebrow because it tends to be thinner than the rest of my eyebrow. Like, it literally just won't fill in there. So what I'm going to do is take an angled brush and my Brow Envy powder, going into the brunette shade. Again, I'm just really filling in the tail and any bald spots, but I'm not going to go crazy with filling in my brows. I just want to more so make them look put together. Okay, see, there's one, there's the other. See the difference? And all I did was I went a little bit up on the arch just to bring it together, but I went around my arch and then down. And that's it. So let me fill in the other one. I'm also going to take, oh my goodness, I'm also going to take a brow gel just to set my brows into place because I tend to have just really thick brows and I have not groomed my brows in maybe a week or so because I haven't been feeling well. and I haven't really gone out anywhere at all, so they're definitely in need for a groom. I'll probably do that later tonight right before I shower, but just to keep them manageable for the moment, I'm just going to add a little bit of brow gel. Now we're moving on to eyes, but I'm going to keep them so simple. I am only using 2 products. So I need to find my blending brush, which is right here. This is my favorite blending brush at the moment. It's actually just from e.l.f. It's such a cheap brush, but I feel like it does such a nice job. And I'm going in with my Natural Eyes palette, and I'm going to pick up one of my favorite crease colors, which is right here, which is called Nudie. And I'm just going to very lightly sweep this back and forth into my crease, and I'm gonna blend it out so much that you're pretty much not gonna be able to see it. And I do this because it just brings a little bit of depth into your eyes, and if you have nothing on your lids, it's going to kind of open up your eyes and just make them look a little bit bigger and a little bit brighter. So I really like doing this, but again, remember, we're not feeling very well, so I'm not gonna go crazy with it. I just wanted to simply add a little bit of definition, so even using my finger to blend it out, I just want it to be super blended. And that's it with eyeshadow. Lastly, for my eyes, I'm gonna go in with my, I just had it, oh, it's on my lap, this Revlon Ultra Volume Mascara. One of you guys had sent this to me in my P.O. box, and I actually really enjoy it. So it kind of has like a matte base and a glossy top. I thought that was kind of cool, but I'm just going to add a little bit on my top lashes. I'm not sure if I'm going to do my bottom ones yet. We'll see. By the way, I forgot to mention, I would usually curl my lashes. I just feel like curling your lashes just once again opens up and brightens the eyes, but I cannot find my lash curler anywhere, and I know I just bought one not that long ago, and it's missing, which sucks, but I'll just have to pick one up again while I'm at the drugstore. But just to let you know, normally I would curl them first before I added any mascara, but this mascara actually does a really nice job at adding volume all by itself, so not a total loss. I think I'm gonna add mascara, but just to like the bottom outer corner. Like, I'm not even gonna bring the mascara all the way in, but I just wanted to add just a little bit to the bottom. For my lips, I'm going to keep them super natural. I'm probably just going to use chapstick because they've been so dry recently. What the hell just fell on me? Before I put on chapstick, I am going to use this Lush bubblegum lip scrub. This stuff is awesome. I just feel like it's a little bit weird to get out and can be a little bit messy, but that's what it looks like. I do love it, and it's pretty cheap. It's only, I think, maybe $10 or something. So I'm going to take just a little bit on my finger. See what I mean? It's a little bit difficult to get out, but I'm just going to lightly exfoliate my lips and try to get off any of that dead old skin. And lastly, I would just throw on some chapstick. So that is actually going to complete my sick day makeup routine. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got a few little tips and tricks out of here. If you have to go to school and you're not feeling too well, I feel like I look 1,000 times better than I did when I first came onto the video. Even, you know, with very minimal makeup, I just added a little bit of color and a little bit of life back into my face. But go ahead and leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed. It helps out my channel a lot. You can also subscribe if you don't want to miss any new videos. And until my next video, I'll see you next time. Bye guys. Mwah.